Hey YouTube, it's Piggylicous1 and I'm here with Sammy and Cashmere. Today we're filming our Q&A video, which is going to be really fun. I've been waiting to do this and I feel like I finally have enough questions. So let's get started. I also want to say thank you so much for everyone who asked a question. I'm going to leave your description, your channel link in the description. So everyone who didn't leave a question, or maybe you did, go check out these people's channels. They're all pretty cool. Alright, so let's get started. The first question is from Emma Biggs. She asked, how many pets do you have? Altogether, I have 21 pets. I have 4 fish, 2 plecus, not quite sure what kind, and 2 betta fish, 2 guinea pigs, Sammy and Cashmere, 1 cat, Mittens, 1 dog, Peppy, who's a Chihuahua, and 1 guinea hen, who is quite elderly. She's actually 4 years old, I think, now. And then I have 12 Degus. The next question is from Rosie Bunny. And I love your channel, I just want to say. And she asks, are Degus easy to care for? My answer to that is actually no, not at all. They are very expensive. They go through so much hay, so much pellets. They eat more pellets than my guinea pigs do. Toy-wise, like, they chew wood like there's no tomorrow, so I'm always having to buy them new toys. So basically, if I see a cute shirt in the store, I have to be like, I love that shirt, but I can't get it because the Degus chewed all their wood toys and they can't go without anything to chew because, like guinea pigs and bunnies, they have open rooted teeth. So there's that. They're very expensive. They need fairly large cages. And I mean, they're not too big, but for me, I mean, it's a pretty good size cage. They also get really bad dry skin. Baby and Wuzzle and one of the Thors, which are all of my Degus, they have really bad dry skin on their ears, which needs to get baby oiled every day until it goes away, and then it goes away for a couple weeks and then it's back. So that's a pain and very time consuming. And they're also attention crazy. I think my guinea pigs want attention. Or when I had my bird, he wanted attention. But the Degus, I walk in my room and they squeak. And since there's 12 of them, you have to divide the attention. And especially Scrumptious, he's always wanting attention. They're always chirping for attention. So for that question, I have to say no. Because, again, expensive and they chew all their toys up really quick. They're never almost satisfied. A lot of times they're very bored until I give them a new toy, and they always want attention, so I have to say no. But I love them, don't get me wrong. They're my pride and joy and my little babies, same as my guinea pig and all my other pets. I love them like they're my children. Alright, so the next question is from Piggy Red Eyes. I like that name. How many pigs do you have and what are their names? I have 2 guinea pigs. I have Sammy and Cashmere. The one on the left is Cashmere and the one on the right is Sammy. They're both a year and so many months old. And yeah, that's my piggies and I love them. Eventually I'd love even more guinea pigs because they truly are my passion. Okay, so next question is from Swag Bucks Free. What pets do you plan to get in the future? Well, we're actually going to be getting mini ducks and silky chickens. We're going to get mini ducks anytime between now and December. And we're going to get silky chickens, which if you haven't seen a picture of them before, go on Google Images. They're adorable and their feathers don't even feel like feathers. They just feel like hair and fuzzy and they're so adorable. I've wanted them forever. And so we're going to be getting silky chickens in the spring, and those are definite pets I'll be getting. And then pets that I've just wanted for a while, and not anytime soon, but in the years to come I'll be getting is, and there's a lot, a ferret, chinchilla, several mice, a hamster, a bunny, a ginger brown teacup poodle, and I'm going to name him Jambalaya. I wanted a teacup ginger brown poodle since I was like 6 years old, and I've always said I wanted to name him Jambalaya just because when I first had that food I thought it was the coolest name, and I like ran around the house singing Jambalaya, and then I was like, whoa, I can name my dog Jambalaya. So yeah, I'm really waiting to get him. I can't wait to get a little teacup poodle. That has to be ginger brown. And then I also want to get a pure white toy poodle, and I'm going to name her Lucy. The next question is from Super Static Gamer, and he asks, when you get your Degus out, do they just run around the room, or do you have a playpen? Well, my parents don't really want them to be running around my room because they don't want them to get lost, but sometimes I just like sneak them out and just let them run around my room. Hopefully they don't watch this video. I also put them in the bathtub, of course, with no water, and I actually have a pre-filmed video that I was saving for when I went on vacation to upload, but I won't be going on vacation anymore, so I'll probably upload that video sometime after this one, so you guys can see, like, the setup and how it works. But yeah, I let them run around in the bathtub with no water. I also let them run around on my vanity because it's got like a really long top to it, and they just run around, and I feed them treats, and that way I can like really interact with them. I also let them run around on my bed, but every time they run around on my bed, especially Tweety, if he runs around on my bed, he poops all over, and then I have to like change my whole bedspread, and that's a pain. So most of the time I let them run around in the tub. And again, like, this kind of is another reason why Degus are kind of not easy to care for, because there's 12 of them. Like, a lot of my time goes towards my pets, and I'm lucky because I'm homeschooled. I don't have to go have a 6-hour school day. I just get my work done, and then the rest of my day is basically dedicated to them, and there's 12 of them, and they have to come out every day. So and Degus kind of have their own personalities, so they kind of, like, they come out on their own terms, so everyone might not get out every day, but I always offer it to them. Oh my gosh, she's cleaning her face. Oh my gosh, when guinea pigs clean themselves, when any pet cleans themselves, like, that's my favorite part of owning them, because they make the cutest little faces and they push their little paws against their face, and it's so cute. That's my favorite part about them. But yeah, so it's very time consuming to have all 12 of them out every day. It's crazy. And the very last question, darn, I don't want this video to be over. It's fun answering your guys' questions. Is from Super Static Gamer again, and he asks, what treats do you recommend for Degus? Well, because they're prone to diabetes, there's not many like store-bought treats you can give them. So I try to give them very natural treats, nothing too sugary. I give them peanuts, which you can buy like a 10-pound bag of peanuts from the grocery store. Make sure they're unsalted and they're still in the shell. They love them. They eat them like crazy, and the 10-pound bag lasts about, I want to say, 2 months, and I have 12 Degus, so I know you have 3, so it would probably last you even longer. Just make sure you check the expiration date and use them before then. Also, I feed them rose hips, which is just like a dried rosebud, and they love that. They've had that a couple times, not so often because they're really hard to find where I live. I got them from Mother Nature, which is a health food store by me. Dried vegetables and herbs, anything like that is really good. Trying to stay away from the things like dried carrot. I do feed that to my Degus every now and then, but just as a very sparing treat, as carrots are really high in sugar. Fresh vegetables are also good for them, but I said in many other videos, only one of my Degus actually eat fresh vegetables, and that's Scrumptious. Tweety, Baby, and Minnie, I didn't have them for the first couple, like for the first month or so of their lives, so the pet store wasn't feeding them any vegetables that I know of because I asked, but I always offered them vegetables from that point till now, and they never eat them. They just get soggy in their cage. And Fudgy and the 6 baby boys, they never eat vegetables, and they've had vegetables in their cage since they start eating pellets, which was at about 4 to 6 days old. They start eating pellets as babies. So I would always put vegetables in there, and it would just get gross, and I'd have to throw it away the next day. They just don't eat it, and I still try to offer it to them, but they're just not big on vegetables. Your Degus might be, and that would be really great because that should be a good part of their diet, and they should get a little piece about once a week. And I also give them dried oats, so that's basically oatmeal without cooking it. And one thing that they probably shouldn't have, but they eat every now and then, probably like once a month, they each get a Cheerio. And it's the no honey, it's the all natural, just plain Cheerio, which is kind of like a dried rice basically. And they love their Cheerios. That's their favorite thing of all. They love Cheerios, and they go crazy for them. And how I discovered they like Cheerios, I didn't give them a Cheerio because I don't give them human food. But basically what happened was I had a bowl of Cheerios, and I was eating them just dry because I like my cereal dry. It's weird. And Tweety and Minnie and Baby, before I knew there was a girl in there, Minnie was a girl, were all on my vanity, and I was eating a bowl of Cheerios, and then they all ran over basically at the same time and took a Cheerio, and I was like, ah, and they ate it, and then they jumped in my bowl, and I was trying to get them out, but they love them so much, they were like trying to nip me, which they've never done before, so they kind of ate the last like 12 Cheerios that were in the bowl, and that's how I discovered Degus love Cheerios. It's really weird. Okay, so I know that I said that was the last question, and this video is getting quite long, but I actually have to explain one more thing. So, in a lot of my videos, people ask me how I ended up with 12 Degus, and or like in the comment section, they're like, how did you end up with 12 Degus? Or like, oh wait, so they get confused about who's related to who, and who's the mother, who's the father, who's the baby, all this stuff. So I decided I'm going to kind of like reiterate this story because I know a lot of people get really confused about it, and basically everyone gets confused. Like if I have a friend over and I tell them about it, they're like, wait, so who's the father? And like I have to explain. So basically what happened was I wanted Degus. I did research for months and months, and on Christmas my parents got me Minnie, Baby, and Tweety, and we had gone to the pet store and all looked at them before Christmas, and I was surprised with them on Christmas. And the pet store people told my parents that there was a soldier, like a guy who was in the military, and he came back on leave and decided to breed Degus. But then he was called back, and he had to go back to Afghanistan. So he brought the babies, so it was the 3 of them and several other babies, to Animalbelia, which was a local pet store. It's not like a chain, and where they were taken care of, and they were gonna be sold. Obviously, I have baby Minnie and Tweety, and he found a home for the parents, the mother and father of them. So my parents got me 3 of the babies, so that was them, and they said that they were all males or all females, but they didn't know which. And then it turned out that Minnie was a girl and Tweety and Baby are boys. So, of course, they ended up having babies, but they can have babies when they turn about 6 weeks old. They can start having babies and reproducing. But it took them 9 months to have babies. So, it was crazy, and I had no clue until I found the babies in the cage. And at that point, Minnie had 3 babies, and I found one dead, one severely hurt, and one that looked pretty healthy, and Minnie was protecting with all her life. She was like, gets me emotional because she was attacking Baby and Tweety, who were attacking each other, who were trying to get to this little baby, who were just crazy because they're males and they're protective of their territory, and it was a very scary situation. So I had a friend over, my cousin over, and I was like, oh my god, there's babies in the cage. And so I took off the lid and I took Fudgy and Tweety out, and I did get bit, and I was bleeding, and I took them out and we put them, one in a hamster ball, which I had from my hamster who had passed away several months earlier, and I had one carrier cage, and I put one in the carrier, I put them both in the carrier, and they started fighting, and that's when Baby bit Fudgy and he hurt his back, and that's when I separated one into the hamster ball and one into the carrier. Tweety stayed in the carrier since now he was hurt, and Baby went into the hamster ball. And then the one baby was clearly dead and passed away, so we removed the baby, and I had my friend, who's very close to me, she's like a sister, call my mom and tell her what's going on. She rushed home from work. The baby had passed away, and the other baby that was hurt, we were like, my aunt came over and she helped us, and that baby ended up dying. And Fudgy, who was the healthy baby, he was okay, and he was perfectly healthy, and he was okay. So after that, since I didn't find the baby, everyone got new cages and everyone was separated. And sometime before Minnie had babies, or we knew she was going to have, well, we didn't know she was going to have babies, but before Minnie had her babies, I had adopted Scrumptious also, who was living separately from the three of them because they didn't like him. And now we know why, because they had a female in the cage. So they were living separately. So at this point I had 4 Degus. Now I have 5 because there's a baby. And so everyone was living separately. And of course Minnie had her baby. At 6 weeks old, we brought them all to the vet before then because we needed to get them sexed and know what they were. And we had to get Tweety treated. And the vet looked at him, and I needed to give him dust baths by hand, like sprinkle dust on his fur so he didn't overheat from the grease, and I had to hand feed him and water him with an eyedropper and all this stuff. So then after that happened, everyone was separated, everyone was in the right cage, and Fudgy had to be taken away from Minnie because Minnie was they were going to end up having babies again. So I took him away at the proper age, at 6 weeks old, and introduced him to Tweety. And that's where he lives. He lives with Tweety, who could possibly be his father. Either Baby or Tweety is the father. We don't know. So either way, he lives with a blood relative. So Tweety and Fudgy live together. Baby lives separately, and I'll get to that in a minute. And then, so because I didn't find the babies, that Minnie had the babies right away when she had them, her and either Baby or Tweety had time to, and she ended up pregnant again. And that one day I was just in my room and I looked at her and I saw her stomach ripple, and I saw that she was gaining weight, and I was just like, oh my gosh. I called my mom and I'm like, Minnie's pregnant again. She's like, how? And then we explained, and we looked at when she had Fudgy, the day she had Fudgy, and we counted how many days, and I forget how long their gestation period is. I forget now, but we counted, and on that exact day that we estimated her due date was, that's when she had the babies. So she got pregnant right away after she had Fudgy. So then that's when she had 8 babies, and sadly one of them died. So I always say Minnie has 3 babies in heaven, and she has the rest with us. So altogether Minnie had 12 gorgeous babies. So basically the one died, and it was fine for a couple of days, but because there were just so many babies, the vet said that it's possible that she didn't get enough nutrients when she was in Minnie's belly. So that's what happened. So we brought them to the vet to get them sexed again, and 6 of the babies were boys and 1 was a girl. So I named the girl Daisy, and Daisy lives with Minnie. And the boys all live together, and their names are Thor, Thor, and Thor, because I cannot tell them apart. And then the other 3 I can tell apart, and their names are Wuzzle, Sarah. I know Sarah's a girl's name, but I named it anyway, Sarah. And what did I say? Wuzzle, Thor, 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 Sarah, and I'm forgetting someone. Oh my gosh, this is terrible. Oh, Rambo! And he's staring right at me from across the room, too. I am sorry, Rambo. But yeah, so Rambo, which my brother named the one Degu. So the 6 babies live together. Minnie and Daisy live together. Tweety and Fudgy live together. Baby lives by himself. Scrumptious lives by himself because at one point I tried introducing Baby and Scrumptious together, and Scrumptious with Tweety and Fudgy, and Baby with Tweety and Fudgy, and like all this stuff. I tried introducing them, and they're vicious towards other Degus. Baby and Scrumptious, they draw blood, and it happens in a split second. There is no way you can stop it. You think everything's going fine, and they fall asleep together, and you're like, you watch them. Like, I've never stepped away when I do introductions. I am always 100% with them, and all of a sudden they snap. So, and my mom was with me with that too. So that's the whole Degu situation, and I know it's probably still confusing, but I just thought I'd try to reiterate that again. And this is a 20-minute video, so I need to stop it now. I hope I answered all your questions. Yeah, I hope I answered all your questions as to what you were referring to correctly. And I also hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I kind of cleared up the whole Degu thing. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Please thumbs this video up if you liked it. And yeah, and if you guys someone doesn't like the whole Degu situation, how Minnie had 2 litters of babies, it was not my fault, and really there was nothing I could do about it, and I raised them, and they're wonderful, and they're healthy. So please, no haters, and if you are, I'm gonna block you, so sorry. Alright, so comment, rate, and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video.